my Doctor Who scarf, got my new Doctor Who shirt, got my big brown coat. Must be discussing Doctor Who today. So, Galaxy 4 was the first serial of Doctor Who's third season, first broadcast in 4 parts from the 11th of September to the 2nd of October 1965. The story showed the first Doctor, played by William Hartnell, and his 2 companions, Vicky Pallister, played by Maureen O'Brien, and Stephen Taylor, played by Peter Purves, end up on a planet that they work out is due to kind of destroy itself in a short amount of time. On the planet, they find 2 warring races. The Dravins, led by a woman named Marga, played by Stephanie Bidmead. The other Dravins are played by Marina Martin, Susanna Carroll, and Lynn Ashley. And they have the appearance of humanoid, beautiful women, and they're from the planet Drava in Galaxy 4. And they're at war with a race called the Rills. And the Rills, throughout most of the story, the Rills are unseen. And the most we ever see is they have a set of robots working for them that Vicky refers to as Chumblies because of the way they move. Imagine kind of like a metal onion in various small parts, and you basically got it. And both races know that the planet is due to destroy itself in a couple of hours, and both races want to get off it. Get off the planet alive. But it turns out they've got a very little amount of time. While the Dravins at first believe that they've got 14 cycles to get off the planet, the planet has 3 suns. So 14 cycles isn't actually very long, it's only like a couple of hours. But the Doctor soon discovers they actually have a lot less time than that. They actually only have 2 cycles. So a lot. And it's a race for both races to try and get off the planet alive. But they seemingly want each other dead. And it's up to the Doctor and his companions to try and figure out a solution. Now, this was once... Now, I haven't actually seen the proper story of this, but let me explain. Most of this story is still missing, so I have only actually just finished watching the animated recreation of it. So, okay, you could argue I've not technically seen the story, but I've seen the animated recreation of it, and I think it's quite good, because this is one story that I actually think contains a message to kids that I do actually really like, and I feel it's a very good message. Now, this is going to go into a little bit of spoilers here, so if you don't want the episode ruined, or the story ruined, go off, watch this story, and then come back. You're back? Okay, good. Because the ultimate message here is actually, I think, a really good one. Because it's kind of a message about appearances, and that you can't always judge by appearances. I mean, the Dravins, you think at first they're going to be like the heroes of this story, especially since we don't see much of the Rills. I mean, the Dravins look beautiful, but then gradually, as time goes on and they become more and more desperate, they do start to become a bit more sinister. I mean, even at the point when you see Marga in a flashback having killed one of her own in a battle against the Chumblies, it's quite sinister to watch. And then with the Rills themselves, throughout most of the story, they're unseen. But eventually, they manage to... Well, the Doctor and Vicky are investigating the Rill ship and managing to mostly avoid the Chumblies at most points. Eventually, the Doctor comes up with a plan and he says, alright, I'm going to kind of tamper with something outside because this place is mostly fed by ammonia gas. If I can adapt something from it, then I might be able to save you, while Vicky has to stay inside. She's eventually brought to a big room by the Chumblies, and then we hear the Rills. And at first you think you don't see them, but you merely hear their kind of big, zooming voices, voiced by Robert Cartland. You think, okay, this is where the big villain's going to be revealed. But then it throws you for a bit of a loop, because the Rills say to her, we are aware that this planet is going to destroy itself, and we will happily offer to take the Dravins with us. I mean, the It serves no useful purpose for them to die on this planet. We might as well take them with us. And you actually realise that the Rills, they're actually decent people. And they're a decent human race. I mean, they, like the Dravins, they just want to get off the planet, but unlike the Dravins, they feel they don't have to kill in order to receive it. And ultimately, and I mean, with the Dravins, as they get more and more sinister, they start doing more and more things that makes you rather skeptical of them. Like in part 3 of this particular story, when Stephen tries to go off to try and find the Doctor and Vicky, they end up trapping him in an airlock with a Chumbly outside, and he still at this point believes that the Chumblies are bad, and they tell him, right, you've got a choice. You can either suffocate in there as we remove the air from the airlock, you can either go outside and face a Chumbly, which will most likely kill you, or you can surrender to us. Even he's getting a bit skeptical of the Dravins at this point. And it's really quite sinister. But then ultimately in part 4, when it's revealed what the Rills actually look like, it is a nice contrast because, as we've seen, the Dravins are this humanoid race of, they seem to be beautiful women, even though they're not human. And when it's eventually revealed what the Rills look like, they're creatures in these chambers. They're filled with ammonia gas because that's what they breathe instead of oxygen, so pure oxygen. And they look like these kind of big monstrous creatures, but then they actually turn out to be decent people. I mean, even Vicky and the Doctor seemingly comment on it, going, well, you look monstrous, but you're actually decent guys. And yeah. To which, that's why I think this is a great story and a great message for kids, because sometimes the thing that looks beautiful can be bad, and sometimes the thing that looks monstrous can ultimately be decent, can ultimately be good. And overall, I think that's what makes a great story. That I love that message, just that sometimes appearances aren't always what they seem. The thing that looks good can be bad, and the thing that looks bad can be good. And ultimately, I applaud Doctor Who for that. I love this story, and I do think it's a really good one. So if you get the chance to watch the animated recreation of Galaxy 4, I say take it. It's a great story. I mean, it's fairly short. It's only 4 parts, but yeah, I said definitely check this one out. So there you go. There's my quick little positive review of Galaxy 4. I found it really good. Anyway, I don't know what my next classic story is going to be. It might be a fourth Doctor one. I don't know. Anyway, until next time. See ya.